Hello viewers, welcome back to another episode of Face to Face, the only English spoken program on BINUSTV. Yeah, we will discuss about various topics as usual on this show, and for this episode, I'm gonna invite a special guest. He's the Language Center Manager. He is Mr. Wishnoe Broto. So we're gonna bring him up here to talk about various topics. Okay. Yeah, welcome. Yeah.
Hi.
Okay, hello.
Hello.
Pleasure, nice to meet you here.
Nice to meet you too.
Okay.
Nice to be
let's
invited.
sit.
Yeah, good.
Okay. So,
Okay.
what have you been doing lately?
What I've been doing lately, I'm working here at BINUS. So working is a big big thing. So the issue is kind of well, I do language center manager.
Yeah.
What I do is providing English courses, learning, and for students and also for teachers and staffs. So you name it. All of those English things around BINUS, besides the English department, is a job for the language center.
Okay. So besides, what specifically, what do you do on your position as language center manager?
Specifically, well, I do the three things. First, for the English training for the students, which if you have classes in English and you've been selected as part of whether your TOEFL is on the certain level and everything, so that's what we do. And also for the teachers, if teachers need to be able to speak, to deliver the courses in English, and you need training for that, that's what we do. And also for the Indonesian language, if you need to learn Indonesians, and then also if you have international students, need to have the Indonesian language for survival or for for anything that we need to do for specific purposes, that's what we do too.
So you're focusing on English for the language center.
Yeah, English for the English for the students of the non-English department.
Department.
Yeah.
So,
English department have their own job. So it's not my job. They're already good.
Okay. So besides that, besides being the manager of language center, what do you like to do, like in your leisure time?
Well, I have a lot of things that I like a lot. I like music. I like watching movies. My background, it connects with my background actually.
Yeah.
I graduated from the English department, and then after that I took a master's in American Studies, and then it's learning about American culture.
Oh yeah, yeah.
So all of this culture, including the music, and also the movies. So that's why I like watching movies.
Oh yeah.
And also playing music.
So anything related to entertainment, like music,
popular culture.
Popular culture.
I don't go with a high culture like Shakespeare or something. It's too heavy for me. But if you talk about music, talk about the movie that's been played here, for example, that's the thing that I like to discuss a lot.
Oh, okay.
I like talking about that.
Oh, can you tell me about your family background a little bit?
Well, I have two brothers. One big brother, one younger brother, no sisters. So I'm in the middle. I'm in a difficult position. So I'm and then I was born here in Jakarta, but my childhood is, I moved from one place to another. So I spent my life here in the beginning of my life until 9 years old. After that I moved to Pekalongan, and I moved to Solo, I moved to East Java in Bojonegoro. And then I got my, after high school, I took my bachelor degree in Jogja and took my master's there. So if you ask about where I am from, I would like to say that it's quite confusing, but I spend most of my time among those cities or in Jogja.
Yeah. So I see you moved around a lot.
My parents are living in Jogja, so I consider myself as from Jogja, but now I work in Jakarta.
Okay, okay. So maybe you can tell me about maybe some kind of things that maybe inspires you to be in your position right now, like language center, what kind of motivates you to, take interest in language?
Okay. Now, for me, language is something interesting. When I was like in, elementary school, I love English because I like watching movies, I said before.
Yeah.
At that time, in the old days, there were no TVs like today. It's only a one channel, TVRI, right? So I always wait for this, cartoon. So I got exposed with English a lot of the time, and there was no subtitle at that time. So so I have to catch up with the
just
with
like
the
learning by doing.
Yeah, and then I liked, and try to imitate, adapt, and try to to play, to pronounce just like the characters in the cartoon. So that makes me interested in language, especially English, and I got more exposed. And when I got my junior high. At that time, English only, introduced during the junior high school. Those kind of exposure helps me a lot in English. So I got it's easy for me to follow English, but it's contrary. I'm bad with math, so it gives me an idea where to go, because I don't have any options, right? So when I graduated from high school, I just choose something with doesn't relate anything with numbers. I don't make friends with numbers. The numbers don't like me.
Yeah.
So I took, English. At that time, the only good English, school and university in Jogja at that time, either you have to Gajah Mada or you go to Sanata Dharma at that time. The people say that cool, Sanata Dharma, although you don't want to be teachers. I hate to be teacher at that time, but I ended up with teacher. So be careful what you wish. Cut the story short. Now I like language, and I love teaching. For me it's not only a job, it's a hobby too. So seeing students from and they being developed, and from they don't know anything until they graduate and they become successful, give me such a great pleasure, satisfaction. So that's what's end up. So there is no plan. There is no a long-term plan, whatever dreams. No, it's just follow whatever you want to show, and then the door is open somewhere. Just go and then follow that door.
Oh, so when you're growing up, you're exposed to, you watched this movies and
music.
So what is your favorite movie or cartoon that you like to watch?
Well, at that time there was no cartoons like now. No Japanese cartoons, only American cartoons. Yeah. So what you see is Disney. It's always character of Disney. There was no cable at that time. You have the video, Betamax video.
Yeah,
rent the
very
video.
old.
And then I always, rent cartoon and watch and try to get exposed. My dad loves, buying music, through cassettes. There's no CD at that time, and then, I listen to this, songs, and then my parents, especially my mom, allow me to take piano lesson, and then at that time, my piano teacher, asked me to listen to a song which is jazz, and then I like jazz suddenly.
Oh.
So accidentally and suddenly being forced to listen to jazz and play about it. So that would end up with the thing that I like too much. I mean, the English and also the culture. So that after I finish my bachelor degree, then I take masters in American Studies.
Yeah. So what's interesting is that you learn language by this. It's not very academical or
no. Just use the language as something that you really love to work on. I mean, if you like music, do something about the music, but you have the background in English, and then you can use the English and also the music at the same time. So it makes life a bit more fun.
Yeah, I think it's quite interesting. Also, interesting method to learn English. It's not just by a textbook. Or
no.
Yeah,
you can learn pronunciation by watching movies.
And music.
But don't use the swear words. Just select the words that's appropriate for your student, something like that.
That's interesting vocabulary.
Don't do that.
Okay. So moving on, maybe you can tell me about what you take as a major, but we're gonna hold it right after the break, still on Face to Face. Hello, BINUSTV viewers. Welcome back to Face to Face. If you're just tuning in, I am with the Language Center Manager of BINUS University. I'm with Mr. Wishnoe, and we were just discussing about your professional experience and also a little bit of your childhood experience. And we were stopped by before discussing about your educational background in undergraduate major. Yeah, so maybe you can tell us about your undergraduate major.
My undergraduate. So after I graduated from high school, as I said before, I'm interested in English. And then I was looking for a good English, department in Jogja at that time. Because why I moved to Jogja? Because my parents got, retired, and they want to move all the family to Jogja, so I have to find it there. And then I applied for university. Either you go to UGM or you go to another one. UGM is the, the state, prestigious, hard to get there. But for the options and for the private university, I went to Sanata Dharma. At that time it was IKIP. IKIP is the Teacher Training Institute. So, well, cut the story short, I didn't get the state university, but I got accepted in Sanata Dharma. But I said to my parents, I want to be teachers. But right now I end up to be a teacher. So that's be careful what you wish. And then I enjoyed teaching. And then during my undergrad, I learned about not only English, English as a knowledge, but also since the Teacher Training Institute, so I was trained to be good teachers. So I was given the knowledge and skills to be able to deliver courses, how to manage the students, how to engage the students, how to make the complicated theory into a more understandable one, how to develop curriculum, how to develop syllabus, all of those logics of learning, and also the administration of those stuffs. So that's my undergrad, and I got the if you finish the IKIP, so the Teacher Training Institute, you get not only your diploma, your certificate, but also you have the teacher's license. You have a teacher's license, so I'm eligible to teach anywhere in this, not in this planet, in this country. So to teach high school students,
Okay, is it like are there like interest, like streams, like maybe some interested in becoming teachers, or maybe some interested in maybe being travel guy.
True. So some of my friends are working in a hotel, so because they like tourism, and some of them are becoming lecturer like me, but some of them are working in a company. So in my undergrad level. There was what we call streaming. It's called the concentrations. Because people have different, different how do you call that?
Maybe like different
passions, dreams, or whatever. They're good at something. So for example, like that. In my case, I took literature because I said before, I love culture. I like watching movies. I like something to do with culture, not actually about the grammar, all those things. But not because I don't like because I cannot master it. Of course, I master it because otherwise I cannot get graduate. But my passion is there. I mean, I like watching movie, and I like to understand that kind of thing, the cultural background. So, and I can talk a lot about movies rather than talking a lot about how to create a good sentences, stuff like that.
So maybe you can tell me about a little bit about what you studied. Like, for example, what do you take as a concentrations for culture?
For culture, we have a course called Cross-Cultural Understanding, CCU we call it. So at that time, the lecturer was from US. And then she's explaining about how Indonesia different with US people, Americans especially, how we think differently, how we react to problems differently, and then why we are different with Japanese. Most of the time they're Japanese. Japanese are very calm. So at that time I still remember the Merapi mountain was about to erupt. And the Japanese are so calm. He says, "Oh, look at the, look at the mountain. It's beautiful with a lot of smoke." But the Americans say, "Whoa, we have to get out of here quick." So they're planning to evacuate and whatever. But we just gather, and then we see, oh, that's so beautiful. Look
like
at
the
that.
Americans are...
You freak out. They are very afraid to, that if something happened to them. But, Japanese people is the culture. So that's how people react differently to certain issues. Yeah, just like, but that's one difference. Also, like Indonesian and Americans, like, for example, if you talk about tomorrow, if we talk about the American way or Western people way, tomorrow means
literally tomorrow.
Saturday, right? Now it's Friday. Tomorrow is Saturday, but in Indonesian, tomorrow is unlimited future.
It's
subjective. So there's like those differences. There are so many differences, and it makes me interested in that. So that's part of the culture that we learn, but there's a lot more than that.
Oh, so you're like taking interest in culture. In my mind, is like you're studying about Shakespeare or like poets.
Yeah, we do. Robert Frost, Whitman, and I have to memorize all of those, lines like Romeo and Juliet and all of those things. Yes, of course, we have to learn that. But for my thesis, I took American writer at that time, so I didn't take the British writer at that time. I took T.H. Lawrence as an American. American writer, and then I analyzed the character over there using more like a multicultural, multidisciplinary, approach. So not like rigid literature reviews and literature,
you combine it with different perspectives.
There's culture, sociology, psychology, all the things together. So it's more fun for me.
So like moving on, you actually took the postgraduate major.
The graduate major, the graduate, yes.
So maybe you can tell us about
I took my graduate degree is in American Studies. So people maybe ask, what is American Studies? American Studies is a stream of knowledge that try to understand America as a country and as a whole. So America is unique compared to any other country. If you compare between British culture and American culture, they are totally in the opposite. So why the US is called the United States? How does this history shape America that you know now? So that's what I learned. So I learned from the point of view of a culture, of the popular culture, of the history, of those, writings and everything. So I learned about that.
So what made you decide to take American culture?
Back to my hobby. I like watching movies. I like American movies. I like jazz. And then when I was like doing that master's, I feel like I'm playing, not actually learning, because I really have this big curiosity. And then I need to answer that curiosity. So whenever my teacher told me to read this and I just read, oh, that's the answer, it made me more exciting because it filled out my curiosity. I became more excited to learn. And what I learned is something that I like because I can choose in my master's. I cannot just like, you take this, whatever you like or not, but we have options. So if you like this, and you have to take this. So in UGM, in Gadjah Mada, you have like 2 streams, literature or culture. And I take culture. Because in culture, you learn about sociology, you can learn about economy, and you can learn about anthropology, and learn about all of those.
Learning all those things.
But in literature, you have like you have those high literature and those things which I don't really, not because not hate it, but it's not my field. I'm not interested in it. I'm more interested in this. So that's what we learn. It's multidisciplinary, so that we understand what America as a whole.
And also you actually took the different major overseas. Like, you can tell us about that.
This is something that, as I said before, I don't have any long-term plan, and I don't have any goals. So it was like in 1998 when I was graduate from my master's degree in UGM, and I was like, I moved from Jogja to Semarang when I start teaching there, my first career as a teacher. Before that, I was a part-time teacher, but now I'm my full-time teacher. And then I was in a boarding house, and a friend of mine next door gave me a form. She said that, hey, they have a scholarship form, or do you want to apply it? And I just said, okay, I'll apply it. At that time, there's no computer, so I have to write down everything in hand.
Without like very expecting that much, or
Yeah, no, actually, I don't have this kind of expectation. It's just like just put it there and then don't want to think about it. But cut the story short, I got accepted. So it takes a year before I got accepted. So what I did is another American Studies. But the way I do it is like I'm continuing my lessons from the master's degree in Gajah Mada into US. So I want to I want to see whether what I wrote there has actually happened there.
Yeah, so it's quite interesting
It
about what we discussed. Yeah, so we're gonna be continuing this discussions right after the break, still on Face to Face. Hello, welcome back again to Face to Face. Right now we're discussing about a person who is the Language Center Manager of BINUS University. I'm inviting Mr. Wishnoe here to talk about his childhood and also his professional and educational experience. Hopefully it can motivate you. And we were just discussing about your postgraduate major that you took overseas. Then maybe we can continue about that.
Yeah, so yeah, I took my another master's degree, so I have a 2 master's degree in American Studies. So when I got that program, actually I got a scholarship. So I applied and I got full scholarship from Fulbright. And I went to University of Alabama in US. Why Alabama? Because in the South. And then I want to learn about the Southern American, especially the African American culture. It intrigues me so much because jazz is actually an African American culture. So I just want to know how the African American people interact with each other, and the best place to do that is in the South.
And they have specific accent also.
Oh yeah? Tell me. Yeah, it's very different compared to the one in the north and the east.
Okay, we can tell us about your experience on taking education overseas.
Oh yeah, learning in US and compared to learning in Indonesia is pretty much different. They are more liberal. Liberal means that they're free. I mean, you can call your professor by their first name. You cannot do that here. And then they are more open to new ideas. Any ideas that you have, they will, they are more open to do that. They don't say that you're wrong, as long as you have ground, you have reasons to do that. And then the culture also, it's more like free for people to give opinion, and also the group work. See, also they like to work in groups rather than individual. So while you work, while you're studying, while you are preparing for your own degree, you're actually sharing information to the other. So the other people in your class can learn from you. So that's the learning atmosphere over there. And I see that in the undergrad level too, because at that time I had a chance to teach 1 semester for the undergrad students. So yeah, I'm a guest lecturer from Indonesia, teaching them about American jazz from the perspective of Asian, like me. And then it was interesting to see that most of the Americans, they consider that jazz is stopped that way. I mean, after the blacks, the African Americans play music, and there's a Louis Armstrong, all of those characters, and after that it stops. Actually, jazz is evolving outside. Like you have in Japan, you have a fusion jazz in Japan, you have fusion jazz in Indonesia, you have
expanding.
Yeah, so it's a totally different culture mixed with the traditional music, and you have like a different sound.
Different sounds of jazz.
So that's we call it jazz. So it's interesting to know that students learn both ways. Not only teacher give them information, but students also give information to the teachers, and it's a group thing.
Oh,
it's nice to work.
Yes, it's a slightly different method of like teaching.
It's more like more equal, sharing, and then it's in education theory you call it the student-centered, right?
Oh, yeah.
So they've done that a long time ago before the theory's been launched, probably, because the culture's like that. Americans, they don't have like the teachers knows everything. For them, learning is part of the community thing, so that's social activity, social interactions.
Oh, maybe so you can tell me about your experience on how many years that you
it's short, pretty much like 2 years.
Oh, 2 years. So maybe you can like tell us about your experience on your social experience in US.
Yeah, in US, one thing that you have to know about in US, there are many holidays there. There are many breaks. Spring break, and you have like winter break, you have summer break. Well, during that breaks, although you don't have anything to do, but you still study. They still offer you some, classes. But the most important thing is not about the classes, but how you interact with people outside the classes. It's much more important. And in the US, I was encouraged to get in touch with the common people outside. Not students. They encourage me not to just stick in one city or just one campus, but no, you have to know more. You have to know the world. You have to know people from different states. You have to taste different food. You share your food with us, and in America you have like called potluck. Potluck is like if you have a Thanksgiving or something like that, and then you bring your own food to the table so that everybody can taste it.
Oh, so like sharing.
You're sharing. So what I did is just make my own meal, Indonesian meal, and then put it there and taste it. How does it feel? And how does it taste? How do you think about that? Not only turkey, but just an Indonesian meal in the middle. So things about that is interesting. And then that kind of spirit also happened in classroom. So if you have anything like concern, questions, just say it and then let other people answer it from different perspective.
Oh, so it's slightly like a different kind of atmosphere.
Yeah,
different.
Of course, it's like you don't feel that there is a huge barrier between your teachers and you yourself. Like I said before, you can call your professor with his first name, like, "Hey Jim, how are you?" "Hey Jim, good morning." "Hey Rich," something like that. But don't do that here, right? But the thing is, like that kind of a formality is pretty much not becoming a problem. Yeah. So that's why they can engage, can interact each other closely.
Or maybe you can tell us about like one of interesting experience while you were staying in getting education in US. Maybe?
Interesting experience. Everything is interesting, especially when you are applying for a scholarship. You don't know where it goes. It takes about a year before you finally say that you got accepted. You got
Oh wow! So it's like a long way.
Yeah, you're like applying. After that, you've been asked for interview. After that, you've been asked to fill out the form, and after that, you've been invited for going to the embassy to get a visa. You don't know where to go, and suddenly that okay, you get accepted. You just go. I give you like a month to leave or something like that. You have to prepare everything. So once you get there, of course, there will be a culture shock. But if you got your English, you don't have any problem. If you go US, if you have problems, just ask. They will help you. They will help you. Yeah.
So it's kind of
just
like
ask. Don't just keep silence and hope that somebody gonna understand what you need. They won't gonna ask. You ask.
Yes, as Indonesians, we perceive them as like being very individual.
Yeah. And no, they're not that individual. But the thing is that here, people will take care of everyone. So like, for example, you're just walking, "Hey, mau kemana?" They are going to ask that kind of, "Hey, where are you going?" It's none of your business, right? So the thing is that if you want to ask, for someone to help you out, ask. Just say it. So someone gonna able to help you out. But if you don't say it, nobody will know that you can need help.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's the different.
That's a different culture, yeah. Not
culture.
because they're individualistic, but they just think that if you're okay, then you don't need help, then I will keep you alone, I'll leave you alone. Yeah?
Okay. So, moreover, like you getting your education in overseas in US, so what leads you to working as a language center manager?
After I finished my master's in 2002, and then I worked back to Semarang. At that time I worked in Semarang, and I've been assigned as the head of the language center there.
Oh.
But before that I was the secretary of the dean. But before that I was a dean too. So, but anyway, it's a pretty short thing. So I was the head of the language center in Semarang, so I had the experience to do that. I developed from the ground up. But in 2005, there was an opening. I tried, just apply, and then I just got accepted here in BINUS. I started my career in the English department, and then I was the coordinator for the self-access language learning center here at BINUS. And in 2010, I was promoted. It was the self-access center was improved its function, expand its function to a bigger function as a language center. So I was appointed to be the manager there. And it makes me more excited because besides culture, in culture I also love about technology, although I'm not from the IT department. Okay. So this is a perfect moment for me to use technology for language learning. If you know about English testing right now, our system is more highly dependent on education, technology at that time. So we embrace technology with education and make it happen, make it working here in BINUS. So all the testing right now is online based. Students just do it in front of a computer, paperless, good for the nature.
Yeah.
And also the result will be sent directly to the teacher, so the teachers can correct it instantly because there is a system to do that. So the grades can be submitted on time. So that kind of technology helped the process, not only the students but also the teachers, and also good for the university too. It's more efficient.
Yeah.
You don't have to. You can imagine like 5,000 students have an examination at the same time, all is in the paper. How many papers is going to be wasted? And students gonna do it like that, and the teachers, it takes time for them to correct them. So if it can be done using electronic based, paperless, it will be good for everyone.
Yeah, I think so.
Efficient, good for the nature.
Okay, we'll continue our conversations right after the break, still on Face to Face. Hello Face-to-Face viewers, welcome back to Face-to-Face. If you're just tuning in, we were just discussing with the Language Center Manager of BINUS University, Mr. Wishnoe, about how technology is being implemented in BINUS University's literature teaching method also, yes. So we will be continuing our discussion. Yes. So, just now we were discussing about how technology is being implemented in education in BINUS, and also maybe you can try to elaborate like what kind of examples will the technologies being implemented in classes. Yeah.
Okay. Good. In terms of language center, especially in terms of language, so we have the goal of we have the ultimate goal, I call it. The biggest goal for BINUS is that all the students can speak English, at least the basic. But the most important is not about how good their English is, writing or reading, but the most important thing is to be able to communicate in English, at least the basics. Now, to build that kind of environment is not easy. Considering the active University of BINUS is like 30,000 students, it's not easy to do. So what we have to do now, we're working our way to that. So we built our first path, that is to make the English language becomes part of their learning. So we provide, of course, English courses, classes, so that they can follow and they earn grades. But most importantly is to build that kind of environment, so after they finish their classes, they are more confident to speak each other in English. Although probably the English have lots of mistakes. That happens, no problem with that. But the thing about this confidence is not easy to get, especially
it's like building up confidence.
It's because we don't speak Indonesian, we don't speak English outside the campus. So the biggest challenge is to make them comfortable using English. Don't worry about whether they make mistakes or not. And how to do that is not easy. But we building our path to do that. Besides, like I said before, using technology for the exam and everything, so that they were more paperless, more efficient, fast. So we try to develop our teachers, especially teachers who doesn't teach English. For example, the architecture department, engineering department, they have to be able to deliver the courses in English, so that students will get that kind of information in English. The textbook probably in English, but those kind of interaction, information, everything during the class is very important, so that the environment inside the class is using English. So we provide teachers with courses, with trainings, so that they are more confident teaching them in English. It's not about the students again, it's about the teachers. Okay, good. And then the other part is that all those papers, assignment and everything, we encourage them, well, one by one, not at the same time, it's going to be difficult, to encourage them to use the papers, to write the papers in English. Well, the grammar probably that happens, right? Grammar. We have different grammars. A lot of students complain about grammar. That's true, but at least you have to try. And that makes the students or people inside BINUS, especially students and teachers, have this kind of confidence to develop there. It's not more or basically about the technology, but it's all about the technology helping people to build confidence, to make them able. So it's kind of a tool. Not actually the tool will help you 100%, but actually if you use the tool, it will help you to attain that goal.
Maybe there are examples of like maybe outdoor activities or events that get them to participate more. True. Maybe
Language Center is also managing the mentoring program. So we have the English tutor, we call it. So the English tutor is the program that helping these students, those big numbers of students, to get more exposure in English. So what we do is we are recruiting students who have exceptional English, exceptional English. They are fluent, they have master's certain TOEFL score, for example, and they have been trained, and we ask them to help their, junior who needs help in English. So that's what we do too. So we don't use ourselves to teach them or leave the technology to help them, because if we ask them to do that, we cannot guarantee whether they're going to do it. So we ask their senior to go to the class or get them interact outside the classroom so that they are comfortable using English.
Are you like designing this kind of methods with the team or?
Yeah, with team. We have a team to do that. So asking other students to teach other students. So it's helping each other. It's nice to do.
Yeah, maybe you can tell us about like as previously before you said that you like movies or music. Maybe you incorporate those kind of elements into teachings.
Sure. Yeah, that's pretty much, that kind of approach has already happened a long time ago in the 80s or something like that. Learning English through movies. And you have this old program from BBC called the Follow Me or something like that. It's been like a long time ago. But the thing is about how Indonesian students especially use that kind of a knowledge or experience to help them to develop their English. Now that's a big question, because what we do when we watch movies, we just like, okay, we like it, fine, stop. But what we need them to do is understand the culture, grab them, and then, you know, try to apply that, the good thing only, right, to the conversations. Imitate that pronunciation, you know. Not the swearing words. Imitate that kind of good kind of pronunciation, culture, so that they will build their own concept about what English is.
Oh, yes.
English is not something that you can learn from book or grammar book. English is something that you have to experience, to feel. Yeah.
Oh, so it's like, you know, it's the after, you know, experience.
Yeah. Now you have like
exposure.
access everywhere. You can open YouTube. You can open all of those, you know.
Yeah, those kind of
access
like
that you can
technologies
get.
help.
Easy.
Yeah, will help these students. You know, will help you
It's
your
helping,
test
yeah,
also.
Of course,
Yeah, to help.
So the more they get exposure, the more they'll get the, you know, the scores, or at least they have more confidence to do that. Learning, I don't believe learning is such a short period. Learning is a long period.
Yeah, it's a continuous.
You cannot just
It's
masters in
so
English in just like 1 month. There's no such thing like that. You have to experience more. You can write great, but you cannot speak. That's going to be like, what is it for? I mean, you have to be able to apply it, and it will give you benefit to yourself, advantage to you and to the other people.
Okay, for the, you know, for the closing, maybe you can tell us about, you know, some kind of sort of motivations to like, you know, about taking your educations, or you know, you're following your passion a little bit.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna be, you know, not really confident saying that to words of motivation, because I'm still learning right now. So what I can say to the you know, students of younger generations, just follow your heart, do whatever you want to do, but a positive way, okay? And try to find a way where you can get that into a profession or something. If you like to do what you do, you love what you're doing, you don't feel like working. You don't feel like playing. And my professors say when you do something that you like, the money will come to you. I don't know whether it's true or not, but it works on me.
Okay, so we are finally at the closing of the show, Face to Face. Don't forget to watch Face to Face again at the same time, only on www.BINUSTV. Until then, I'm gonna see you later on the next episode. Bye-bye.